Okay, welcome back. Now, what I want to do is give you a crash course in Medicare Parts A, B, C, and D. Now, in my classes that I have, I go into a lot of details in each one of these sections, but I want to give you an overall view. So I'm going to start on the whiteboard here. And let's talk about Part A first, okay? So when we're talking about, Part A is considered part of the original Medicare along with your Part B here. Okay, so your Part A, for most of us, we are not going to have to pay a premium because it's the same 10 years of work that we put in. We're paying Medicare premiums right now. So most of us will not have to pay a premium. Now, what I usually say is that Medicare Part A pays for hospital. Okay, it also pays for any type of skilled nursing facility. And then it pays for home health. And then it also pays for hospice. So it's more of a facility type coverage. Okay. So when we're talking about, these different things that Part A pays for, kind of think about Tom who goes into the hospital, he has a stroke, and then he goes into the skilled nursing facility, and then he may go to home health, and then he may go to hospice. Now, of course, not everybody progresses this way. This is what happened to my father. He went into the hospital with a stroke, and then he went to skilled nursing facility, for speech therapy, physical therapy, that type of thing. And then he went into home health, and then he went into hospice. So these are the four major areas that Part A pays for. Now, what happens is you have in the hospital, you have what is called benefit periods. And these benefit periods are 90 days. It's a 90-day benefit period. Now, you can have as many benefit periods as you need when you go into the hospital, as many as you need for your lifetime. So you have to pay a deductible up front. For example, in 2023, because it's just easier for me to remember, you had to pay $1,600, which is a lot of deductible. This year, it's gone up to, I believe, $1,632, but we'll just go with 2023 numbers because on your state test, you don't have to memorize the number. You just have to know how it works. So every time you go into a hospital, you pay this deductible. Now, days 1 to 60, you don't have to pay any co-pays or co-insurances. But if you're in the hospital 61 to 90 days, remember that's a benefit period, now you're going to pay a copay every single day. And this is 1/4 of the deductible. Okay, now that you have to memorize for your state test. Like I said, you don't have to remember 1,600. So in this particular case, it would be $400 a day, okay, that they would have to pay. All right, so always remember 1/4 of the deductible. Now, remember, a benefit period is 90 days. So if you go 91 to 150 days, now you're in your reserve days, and you only have 60 reserve days for your lifetime. This is why you need, some type of supplement, or this is why you need, Medicare Advantage plan. Now here, you're going to pay 1/2 the deductible. Okay, so in other words, you're going to pay $800 a day. Okay, so you need to remember 1/4 and 1/2. All right, now the way Medicare pays is for Medicare to pay in a skilled nursing facility, you have to be in a hospital for 3 days. Okay, so you have to stay in the hospital for 3 days here. Now, days 1 to 20, there is no co-pays, no co-insurances, because remember, you've already paid, this deductible, and that type of thing. Now, days 21 to 100, now you have 1/8 of that 1,600 deductible. So in this particular case, it's $200 a day. Now, there is no coverage, okay, at day 101. You only get 100 days of skilled nursing facility. Okay, now your home health is first dollar. So, they try to, get you home because this is where it could be easier for you to stay at home and let them come to you. I call it, first, coming in, coming out. They don't stay very long, but you do have some home health when it comes to Medicare. And then you have hospice as your final facility coverage there. Okay. So for your state test, yes, definitely know these 1/4, 1/2, 1/8, know how these days work. Very, very important when it comes to your test as far as that's concerned. So you may want to take a picture of that. Now, Part B is more your physician type coverage. Okay. And so what happens here is you have a deductible, but instead of having a deductible every single benefit like you do in Part A, which means you could actually have more than one $1,600 deductible in that example, you have one deductible. Okay, so for example, that could be like $240, okay, that you would have to pay up front. Again, you don't need to memorize these numbers. And then you have an 80/20. And so you have to pay, the patient has to pay this 20%. It's an unlimited amount of 20% that they have to pay out. Okay, so there is no stop loss on that 20%. Another reason why you want to get a Medicare supplement or some type of Medicare Advantage. All right, so what happened is Part C is in the I believe it was in the 1980s, they came out with Medicare Advantage plans. Okay, and I go into a lot of details with this in my class, but you either have an HMO or a PPO, Medicare Advantage. Think about a Medicare Advantage being a bundle plan. It has Parts A, it has Part B, okay? It also has prescription drugs, which is Part D. They'll also include, some vision and dental, and hearing in this as well. Sometimes you'll get a gym membership. So Part C is basically bundling your A, your B, and your prescription drugs. Now, you could go, you don't do both, or you could go the Medicare supplement route. Okay, the Medicare supplement means the same thing as MEDIGAP. Sometimes you'll hear Medicare supplement, sometimes you'll hear MEDIGAP. And what this does is after Medicare pays, then your supplement will pay. And these are called plans. And you have Plan A and on up. Plan A is called your core plan. And it basically covers, things like it gives you more reserve days. It covers this 20%. Okay, so it basically covers a lot of those things that you're concerned about. You have a total of 10 plans in your Medicare supplements. So once Medicare pays, the Medicare supplement will pay depending on your plan. Okay, so that is a very general definition. Of course, Part D came in around 2008. Part D is your prescription drugs. So when it comes to Part C and bundling everything, your Advantage plans bundle all of this. Now with Medicare supplements, you'll need to have what you'll have to do is you'll have to keep your Part A, your Part B, get a Medicare supplement. Then you're going to want to also get Part D, and you're also going to want to get a separate vision and dental, and hearing type plan. Okay. So that is a great summary, like I said, of general information. And in my class, I have a lot more detail if you are studying for Medicare and that long-term care license. Okay, so just some general information here. So if you want to go to tdinsuranceexamprep.com, this will supplement all the state laws that you have. It puts a lot of great information that's very easy for you to understand depending on what tests that you take. So it's $97. It gives you 110 days access to PDF worksheets, videos, and cheat sheets. Okay. All right. So I hope to catch you in another video.